Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are well. Today, we're going to be looking at boosting our profitability when looking at buy to flip opportunities. So, firstly, what is a buy to flip opportunity in the investment world? It is the idea of buying an investment property at a cheaper amount and then doing minor renovations on this property with the idea of selling it in the future for profit. And this tool is a buy to flip calculator, and it basically just re-engineers the amount that you need to purchase your property for to ensure the profitability. So let's dive straight into the tool. First things first, as you guys know, with all FinSys tools, all the blue sections are editable, and you can change that to suit your own scenario for your buy to flip property. So I've entered a few amounts here, but let's just go from the start. So the first section would be the maximum selling price. So this is the amount that you have in mind that you can sell this property for. To get this amount, you can phone agents in the area. You can have a look at the Lightstone property reports, which would also give you a good indication. And you can just have a chat with people. You can look online on like Property 24 and see what similar houses go for or flats go for in that area. That will give you a good idea of what you can sell this property for after you've done all your renovations. So in this example, let's say this person can sell the house for 1.8 million. And then we move on to the next section, which is the estate agent commission. So in a buy to flip scenario, firstly you have to buy the investment property, and that has some fees involved with it, especially if you're using bonds. Then if it's got some further fees involved, and then there's the second part of selling it, and that's also got some costs involved. So this one would be the costs involved in selling the unit. So let's say it's a 5%, which is pretty cheap for an estate agent. That will then give you an amount. Then you include your renovation costs. So let's say you assume the cost for the renovation will be 80,000 Rand. That's after you've received a quote from a builder or a project manager for the work that needs to be done for your renovations. A good tip would always be just to keep the renovations in a buy to flip relatively small. You don't want to be knocking out walls and spending an extreme amount of time, as at the end of the day, the value added will be much less than a quick touch up, new tiles and paint and adding light in house. Then the next one would be a contingency on renovations. As we all know, if you ever did some building at your house, it always takes longer and it always costs more. So this is just a little contingency added or safety margin on top of the building cost. So let's say you're assuming it's going to be 20% more expensive than you budgeted for initially. So that's a built-in safety margin. Then we head on to the interest and bond repayments. These are once you've purchased the property, you'll have costs going off on a monthly basis. The bond will be going off. There will be other costs involved. So these are costs involved for the period that it will take you to finish your renovations. So let's say these costs for this example, if you've got a bond running at 18,000 a month, let's say it's roughly 57,000 for your costs. Then you include the profit that you want to make, and it's also in rand amount. So if you want to make a profit of 170 odd thousand in this example, then it's 10% profit. If you want to make 25% profit, then you're making a really healthy profit on this investment, 427 odd thousand. Then we include further costs. This is your clearance certificate. So this is in the selling process. There's a bond initiation fee. Generally, it's roughly about 6,000 Rand. It's not a really bigger amount than that generally. Then there's other costs involved that you can also fill in specifically for your own investment property. Then we head on to the total cost before bond and transfer costs. So the bond and transfer costs are costs involved in getting the asset or property in your name. And this is firstly relevant to the amount that you need the bond for from the bank, and then secondly the amount that the property is purchased for, as there's taxes involved and stuff. We've included a link. So first one on the property the bond amount needed. So if we refer to this calculator, it's a better bond calculator that works out your bond and transfer costs. So as you can see, you can enter all your amounts here. Let's say, for example, this person, he purchases the property for 1.8, but he needs 1.5 million as a bond. So given the current interest rates and repayment terms, we can see the total bond costs and transfer costs. You take these amounts, these two amounts that's given here, and you head back to your calculator, you insert them over here and over there, and then it will give you an amount, the maximum purchase price of a property. And you should not buy the property for more than this amount. For given all the requirements that you inserted and the profit that you require, you should not purchase your property for more than 1,036,000 odd rand, as you would not gain the profit and all the costs involved. So hopefully this tool will help you boost your profitability, and all of the best. Cheerio.